Hi there. I'm not quite sure what this is really. Um, I guess you could say in some ways it's just kind of a stream of consciousness thing. You might hear some background noise. I'm doing this literally in the crummy kitchen of my crummy apartment. It is my podcast. Am I sure I want to say this? Title pending approval. And one has to ask, was this inevitable? Probably. I've been through a lot of trauma, you know. And I guess for a white boy such as myself, that just kind of means vested remnants, feelings about your parents being divorced, minor inconveniences, uh, a lot of broad and philosophical thoughts on very stupid topics. And it's really just an exercise for myself. I hope people take some stock in it. I hope people find some entertainment out of it. I hope they get something out of it, but I won't be surprised if that doesn't end up being the case. This first little bit of it is just going to be very theoretically talking about the podcast, and then it's a little more into the specific topics. You know, am I upset about a girl who rejected me 20 years ago? 15 years ago. That could be a podcast episode. Do I wish more people had my opinion on a TV show or a book or a song or something? One podcast could just be me listing movies. That's legitimate media in this day and age. So shock, I'm sure, surprise to some of you older folks, but just saying movies seems to go a long way. You don't even have to say anything that critical. You can just kind of say, oh, I watched Beau is Afraid. Oh, that's quite good. That's quite nice. Everyone has their letter boxed out. I mean, it's your opinion is becoming a form of entertainment and becoming a form of how you represent yourself to the world. And that's kind of nice. I wish I were more of a cinephile to really get things out of it. I think if I were to open my letterbox now, I would really be struggling for titles. Happiness by Todd Solondz. Ponyo. My aunt took me to see Ponyo when I was about 14 years old because the Simpsons movie was too adult for me, and I have to describe what I'm doing since this is an audio only format. I'm doing the air quotation marks, because in a sense, I don't think I was too young for it, but your aunt can get overprotective. That's another thing. That could be a whole I could just start a whole other podcast to supplement this podcast with a whole bunch of family bullshit, just kind of rambling on about shit my family members did to me to inform my mental development. It's gonna be quite good. Comedy is obviously a big part of it. I could just do characters. I've got a whole host of characters. This is a guy whose pants are too short. Hey, what's the big idea here? See? Did that did that sound like a stereotype or an archetype? I'm a little afraid of that. You always hate to be accidentally problematic and get canceled or something of that nature. I've already gotten myself canceled plenty of times. I don't really need to. And what is that? What is that nomenclature that we've used? We don't we don't say, "Hey, that's behavior you could correct." It's just kind of like, "Nope, it's beyond the pale. You don't get a second shot." As I'm speaking to you right now, I'm speaking to you from my $50 podcast equipment. Oh yeah, those are some big numbers. Some sugar daddy numbers if that interests you, ladies and gentlemen, because I do swing both. You want to be sugared to the tune of a few dozen Big Macs, you just pop a squat right in my messages. Yes, 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 ladies and gentlemen, I do have podcast equipment, very rudimentary podcast equipment money. As I'm sitting here, I'm talking into a microphone with a pop filter and a bit of a sound filtration system. Some nice insulated walls, kind of propped up walls around this device. I'm gonna take a drink now and then. My laptop's overheating, so I don't want to make this too long. That's an old shit device. I could just talk about technical. That could be a podcast. That could be a podcast. That could be an episode of just me saying a whole bunch of shit that I need to replace and a whole bunch of technical difficulties and whatnot. I'm not doing a take two here. I'm not writing out statements. I'm not going to prepare anything. This is going to be very just rough. Just some rough stuff. You always liked the rough stuff, didn't you? Um, that's Sean Connery. I don't know if you know who that is. I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know who's listening per se. Could be anybody, I guess. Two people who I'm hoping will never see this are my parents, and it's not because I don't want them to know about this. It's just I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be talking about a lot of issues, and I don't want to have to immediately discuss them. And I feel like with those two people, it's like I got to get confronted with them every day of my life. Every day of my life, I'm talking to them. I guess we're close in that way by default. I really should try to find a life more independent, but it's hard to. It's New York City, you know. They charge you. That could be a podcast episode. It's just talking about the costs of New York City. How we're so exorbitant. We put so much value on a cookie. We'll slap a $7 label on that shit. It's just like, hey, you have chocolate chips. That's a lot. You're getting a pretty nice treat. You worked hard for your money, and now you're getting your just reward, a cookie. One singular little piece, probably 2, 3 inches in diameter. I'm praying this isn't blocking my voice. I'm taking sips of iced tea as I record this because I do need to be hydrated. I do need to. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know if you can hear my laptop overheating. Oh my God. Like I said, the technical difficulties episodes could be whole podcasts. Just a series of episodes, really. Woofty. Man, that's yeah. My dad got it for me over the my dad bought me my laptop over the pandemic. The last one I had since college. I got a good 9 years out of that. Almost 10. Was almost gonna make it. He was one day short of retirement, that laptop. And eventually I just kind of smashed the mouse button. That was all cracked. Listen, I don't want to. I want to save that for the technical difficulties podcast episode. Could talk about family. Could talk about tech. Could talk about New York. Could talk about relationships. I could talk about politics. Could talk about the world at large. Have you ever thought about Trump and Rishi Sunak and Trudeau if he's still doing anything? And have you ever thought, hey, I need to hear some random asshole's opinion about these large existential issues? That could be me. That could be me, and I would humbly submit myself for consideration and hope that might entertain you. I could talk about old TV shows. I don't think we're thinking of a thing there. The first thing that comes to mind is Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I feel like they sat on that material for a long time because that was like a cartoon strip in the '60s, and they didn't get around to making a TV show until the '90s, and that must have been a whole thing. It's like, look, listen, we're just starting to let black people kind of sit in the same space as we are. We're still a little standoffish about the whole queer rights thing. Women get an equal pay. Not in this century. But witches we will have in our comic strips. We will gladly put the Wiccans in our funnies, right next to the comic strip where Jughead eats a sandwich for a nickel and it transforms his face. And then Archie Andrews does some comedic slapstick. We'll put Sabrina and her two ants. We'll put like a nice little story there. And her talking cat. I have a cat, just a little like Salem. Salem of the televised series. He's a nice little guy. Could talk about pets. I could just describe animals to you. I could just get a whole cast of animals. There's a whole genre of just describing visual media that I could do to you. I could be like a newfound Fiorello LaGuardia. He read comic strips over the radio. I forget where I heard that information. It's not I didn't get it on Wikipedia. And anytime I remember information that I didn't get from Wikipedia or Google, I automatically don't trust it. I'm just kind of like, did this have any AI formatting to it? But yeah, you know, I could just I could just describe a cat, This is, it's got fur, it's got nice little eyes. He's a kind soul, really. He's a gentle little soul, really. Yeah. This computer does not like how I'm treating my storage, where they basically give me just a little bit of room, and I'm just kind of like I'm gonna get in there. All my and never delete a damn thing, If I have a screenshot for an Instagram story I wanted to post or a joke I'd wanted to make, it is staying on my devices until the end of time. I will be dead and gone. I will be ashes, but my JPEGs, they are forever. They're going to outlive me. To what end? Probably nothing. Probably just lingering around, just not really doing anything. I think that's what I'm afraid my life is going to be. I could do podcast episodes on existential topics, death, life, dreams, romance, spirituality. I don't believe in anything. Tune in next week. But yeah, that's my main fear. It's just coming up with a few decent jokes and them not really getting any play or any airtime or anything. And then someone discovering them 100 years later. This guy was a genius. He should have been paid something. Thank you, random future stranger. I sure do appreciate that as ashes in the wind, little atoms and particles. I'm a cluster of duly grateful particles. I blow through the winds just thinking, oh man, someone's thinking of me. And also, they're eating food through a tube. I don't know. Food comes in tubes in the future. And politics does as well. God, are we ever fucked? Like this is a nice time to really start something. Is during the eclipse. During that eclipse energy for all you astrological babes, for all you Virgo geeks and Scorpio nerds. This is really hitting. Like this is gonna go a long way. This is definitely gonna go a long way. I started a great time to just start my ramblings. Just try to find some use out of just me talking. You know, just trying to let myself, because I talk to myself all the time. I really do. I don't talk to enough people. I don't have enough people around me. This is more concerning. But hopefully when I do get around to affording a therapist, um, I can just show them this podcast and be like, hey, if you wanna know what's wrong with me, you can just kind of catch up on the episodes. It's like, Brian, there's like 50 of these goddamn things. I'm not listening to them all. I was just like, okay, I'll just do a wrap up episode. Here's a quick history of my depression. And then, yeah, tune in next week. But yeah, oh man, I'm psychotic, really. This is what it sounds like when I'm talking to myself. When I'm just shooting the shit. That is really uh that's definitely a, a paramount, an important point of why I'm doing this is to just catch myself at my most casual. Because anytime I feel like I gotta rev up or I gotta charge or I gotta prepare myself, I'm just sort of like, oh, I don't like the way I sound. Anytime I go do stand up, I'm just gonna like, have to think, memorize everything that I want to talk about, and I'm so focused on getting all the words right that I don't remember to feel. And that's an important thing is to feel good about the ideas you have. At least the ones that aren't telling you to murder people and be bigoted towards them. At least the ones that are, slightly humorous. That'd be kind of nice. Okay, I had to stop there. I wasn't sure someone was going to turn the corner. What the fuck are you talking about? It's 3:05 in the morning. Well, it may be 3:05, but it is definitely 69 somewhere. Nice. This is pretty good. I don't know about the quality of it, but I've definitely impressed myself with how much I've been able to ramble with just entire bullshit. I think the real challenge from here on out will be trying to stick to one cohesive topic and knowing how long to go. I figure I can't be releasing 5-minute podcast episodes like my friend on TikTok Bubby. This is kind of where I got the idea to just be like, well, if she's just talking into a mic and trying to market that, like, what the fuck am I doing? I could do that. I could do that so much better than an old lady. She's actually quite sweet. Um, but yeah, I figured 20 minutes is like a good amount of time just for my ideas. Maybe even longer. Who knows? It's fly by night. It's play by ear. No rules, no parameters. The only consistent element is that it is me, myself, and my thoughts, and anything that I'm willing to chatter about with my high tech sugar daddy equipment. Like I said, applications are open. It's not gonna be your standard sugar daddy, and I mean, I might be a little bit of a coupon daddy, which is just kind of like your regular dad. There's not a whole lot of difference there. This is gonna be a real fucking treat to listen back to, isn't it? God knows how many problematic things I'm going to say and not even catch them. That's the main thing I'm concerned about is the fact that I might say something that's so dangerous to my reputation and not even know it. I'm just sort of like, oh my God, because I misspeak, I fuck up all the time with my words, and yet I insist on trying to make a living saying words. Some people just don't know when to quit, and I am top of that list. I am chief commander. I am king of delusion, king of self delusion. I no one is presented, but well, except for maybe one person who's currently in charge of things they shouldn't be. Anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up about now because I'm sure you've probably tuned out, but hopefully this gave you something compelling. This hopefully this compelled you somewhat to listen to me and find import of my ideas. I'm talking like Fraser Crane now. I'm hoping that's a good decision. Um, and yeah, update it infrequently, and just kind of go for topics. So if there's anything I can do to make your experience better, because I'm a hopeless codependent and I will do anything for attention and love and good times, let me know. My socials shouldn't be too far from this. My email is just my name, BRIANKELLEYMAIL at gmail.com. And with that contact information, you can send me all the ideas, all the critiques, all the comments, and any ads for boner pills that I might enjoy. I want to thank you for your patronage, any attention that you've heaped onto me during this period. And if we're friends, or if we could become friends, I hope we meet real soon and we have a good time. Thanks, guys.